In the heart of the Mississippi Delta, where the blues were born and shadows linger, a new horror unfolds. Welcome to our deep dive into Sinners, 2025, the latest film from acclaimed director Ryan Coogler. Known for his work on Fruitvale Station and Black Panther, Coogler brings us a haunting tale set in 1932, blending historical realism with supernatural horror. Starring Michael B. Jordan in a compelling dual role as twin brothers Smoke and Stack, the film also features standout performances by Miles Cotton, Haley Steinfeld, and Delroy Lindo. The narrative follows the twins as they return home to open a juke joint, only to confront a vampiric force threatening their community. Interesting facts. The post-credit scene features legendary blues musician Buddy Guy portraying an older version of Sammy, offering a poignant conclusion to the story. The film begins with a voiceover describing the power of music, stating it can bring spirits from the past or future. In ancient West Africa, this gift was called as kriyats, and it was capable of both healing communities and attracting evil. This spooky precursor sets the backdrop for the events that occur in Clarksdale, Mississippi, in October 1932. Sammy Moore, battered and wounded, arrives at a church, his face marked with claw-like wounds. He clutches the broken neck of a guitar. Inside, his father, Jedediah, a pastor, is deep in prayer. When Sammy enters, Jedediah urges his son to turn away from music and follow God, calling for repentance. Sammy remains silent, gripping the guitar. As Jedediah speaks, Sammy experiences a disturbing vision of someone violently hurting him. The scene then shifts back a day earlier. Identical twins Elijah, Smoke, and Elias, Stack, both World War I veterans, return to Clarksdale, Mississippi, after years in Chicago's criminal underworld. Using stolen mob money, they meet with Hogwood, a former Klansman and racist landowner, at an old sawmill. The twins gives Hogwood a bag of cash and warn him that if any Klan members come near the place again, they'll be killed. Smoke and Stack plan to convert the sawmill into a juke joint, a safe haven for the black community. Their cousin Sammy, an aspiring blues guitarist, joins them despite his father's disapproval of secular music. After meeting Hogwood, the twins drive to a hidden spot by the roadside where they've stashed a truck full of alcohol for the grand opening. A snake appears and Smoke quickly kills it. The truck is ready, but Smoke hesitates, suggesting they should wait a week to open the juke joint. Stack insists it must be tonight. They agree, but someone needs to stay behind to guard the truck. Smoke stays behind while Stack and Sammy go ahead to set up the joint. Smoke arrives in town and hires a young girl to watch the truck, paying her 10 cents for every minute she remains vigilant. Inside a nearby building, Smoke meets his old friend Bo Chow and his daughter Lisa. He requests assistance with the sign and other opening day preparations. Suddenly, the girl honks the horn, indicating that two males are attempting to steal the vehicle. Smoke reacts fast, shooting one of them in the back and another in the leg. The men apologize, but Smoke shoots one of them again, and the townspeople, who know Smoke and Stack, remain calm. Meanwhile, Stack and Sammy are looking for a musician to headline the opening. Stack tracks down Delta Slim, an older blues singer, and persuades him to join after offering some Irish beer. As Slim starts playing, a small crowd gathers. Mary, a childhood friend of the twins and Stack's former love, appears. She's upset that the twins never sent flowers after her mother passed away. Sammy meets Pearl, a married woman, and invites her to the juke joint's opening. Later, Smoke spots his old friend Cornbread working in a cotton field. He pulls him out and hires him as security for the event. Meanwhile, Smoke visits his estranged wife, Annie, who practices voodoo. She tells him that her voodoo has been protecting the twins, but they've grown distant ever since they lost a child. Meanwhile, Irish vampire Remick Jack O'Connell arrives in Mississippi, fleeing from Choctaw vampire hunters. Covered in blood, he seeks refuge from a racist couple, Bert and Joan, who are revealed to be local Klansmen. They reluctantly let him in, but once inside, Remick turns on them, biting both and transforming them into vampires. Now undead and driven by bloodlust, Bert and Joan are drawn to the energy surrounding the newly opened juke joint, setting the stage for a supernatural clash between darkness and community. The juke joint opens, and the crowd dances to the music, which is so powerful it brings spirits from the past to life, appearing inside the joint. But just as the celebration reaches its peak, Remick and his vampire group arrive, posing as traveling musicians. Smoke, however, senses something is wrong and refuses him entry, even when they offer pay. Mary, feeling the pressure, steps in and tries to negotiate with the vampires. Remick's true nature is revealed as his eyes glow red, and the scene turns chaotic. Mary attempts to flee, but is bitten by Remick and turned into a vampire. Meanwhile, inside, trouble escalates when a patron attacks another with a razor. Smoke intervenes, but as he heads to find Stack, he stumbles upon a horrifying scene. Mary biting into Stack's neck. Shocked, Smoke shoots her, but she survives and promises revenge. Stack dies from his wounds. After clearing out the juke joint, Smoke, Sammy, Annie, Slim, Pearl, and Grace are left inside. Cornbread, now a vampire, arrives, demanding to be let in. He attacks Smoke, but Smoke shoots him dead. Meanwhile, Stack, who has reanimated as a vampire, attacks. Annie saved the day by splashing pickled garlic juice in Stack's face, causing him to flee. Taking charge, Annie educates the survivors. Vampires can only be killed by silver or wooden stakes, and they cannot enter a building unless invited. Now unable to enter the bar, Remick halts the attack and offers the survivors a deal: become vampires, gain immortality, and escape the pain of racism and death. He praises Sammy's supernatural musical gift, claiming it can summon the spirits of his lost community, and warns them that Hogwood, secretly the head of the local clan, plans to attack at dawn. The survivors refuse the offer. In retaliation, Remick and Bo confront Grace, threatening her daughter. Desperate, Grace dares a horde to attack and invites them into the juke joint, breaking the protective barrier. A brutal battle erupts. Grace sacrifices herself, stabbing her turned husband Bo and setting them both on fire. Slim lures vampires away as bait, while inside, Pearl is fatally wounded and Annie is bitten. Realizing her fate, Annie begs Smoke to stake her. He does so with a heavy heart. The remaining survivors fight fiercely, using stakes, garlic, and explosives to defeat the vampires. Though victorious, the cost is high. Grace, Annie, and Delta Slim are killed, and a devastated Mary flees the bar after Annie's death. Smoke, Sammy, and Pearline attempt to escape, but are ambushed by Remick and the newly turned Stack. Smoke and Stack engage in a brutal, emotionally charged fight, while Sammy and Pearline face off with Remick. During the struggle, Pearline is bitten and urges Sammy to run. In a desperate final stand, Sammy smashes a guitar over Remick's head, just as Smoke arrives and kills Remick with a stake. As dawn breaks, the rising sun incinerates the remaining vampire horde. With the immediate threat gone, Smoke prepares for the arrival of Hogwood and the remaining clansmen. In a violent shootout, he kills them all, including Hogwood, but is mortally wounded by a gunshot. As he lies dying, Smoke sees a final vision of Annie and their lost child, a moment of peace after the chaos. Sammy, having survived the chaos, returns to the church where his father pleads with him to give up music. Sammy refuses, holding on to his guitar. The film ends with Sammy in 1992, now an older blues musician. After a show, Stack and Mary appear as they did decades ago, unchanged. Stack reveals that Smoke had told him to protect Sammy, but that Sammy's time is nearly up. Sammy gently refuses the offer to become a vampire, accepting that his time has come. He plays one last song for his friends, reflecting on the night of the juke joint's opening as the best of his life. Remember to subscribe for more movie recaps.